Good morning, everybody. Dan Bates, President and CEO, Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, and we are glad that you could join us today for another episode of Coffee and Conversation. So today you're going to hear from Dan Swormstedt. I hope it didn't destroy his name.
Yep, you got it right.
Okay, good. From HORAN. HORAN is, well, he's going to tell you about HORAN, but they do all kinds of wonderful things for employee benefits and retention and insurance, and you name it. They're kind of a one-stop shop for a lot of things you need for your employees. So we'll get to Dan in just a little bit. We are on Zoom. So if you have questions, you can interrupt the speaker. I'm sure he won't mind if you want to ask questions. If you are on Facebook Live, type your questions in and Laura will repeat them to the speaker so we can get them answered, because we generally have a pretty large audience on Facebook Live. So that's the protocol. We're going to do self-introductions, and for that, I'm going to turn that over to Gino, and then we will get started with the presentation.
Thank you so much, Dan. So obviously, everybody knows our fearless leader, Dan Bates, who does an outstanding job here. And it does sound like you practiced that speech on more than one occasion, Dan. So thank you for that. We also have Laura Merrill on the line with us. I am Gino McGowan, the new Director of Member Relations at the Greater Hamilton Chamber, probably the least important person on this call. So I'll get going and I'll just go right to left. So we'll start off with Dan. Why don't you introduce yourself? Actually, Dan, we'll come back to you. We're going to save you for last since you're the most important. So why don't we start off with my buddy, Brandon Owens.
Hi, Brandon Owens, First Choice Business Brokers, Cincinnati. We help people who are trying to sell their business find a buyer.
Outstanding. All right, Scott, we'll start off with go to you now.
Which one?
Hetzel. I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah.
Scott Hetzel with Saxon, do small business group health insurance, medical, dental, vision, life, LTD, whatever you need.
Great. Barb Markey.
Good morning, I'm Barb Markey with Peter Paul Office Equipment. We sell and service multifunction machines.
Outstanding. Sandy.
Good morning, Sandy Kusnoff, Frank's Glass. We're a full service glass company. We do automobile, residential, and commercial glass.
Welcome, Sandy. You were one of the first people I met when I came on board, so I will always remember you.
Well, thank you.
Yes. How about Scott Stevens?
Good morning, Scott Stevens. I'm the new CEO of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Butler County. We are longest serving mentoring program in the country.
Welcome.
Good to see you, Sandy.
You too.
Good stuff. Okay, we might as well stay with the Scott. So how about Scott Alverson?
Third Scott here. Scott Alverson with Saxon, along with Scott Hetzel, handling employee benefits, medical, dental, vision, all that fun stuff.
Great. And Nikki, the better half.
All right.
I am Nikki Owens with First Choice Business Brokers.
Okay, so I know this stuff is bouncing around. All right, Tracy Stivers.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Stivers. I'm the Director of Community Relations for BCW Workforce. The Workforce Board oversees policy and funding for the Ohio Means Job Centers, and we collaborate closely with them to achieve a common goal, which is to help people discover meaningful work and a path to a better life. We do that because we want to see the cycles of poverty end and people thriving in our region. We accomplish that through a variety of programs that range from resume assistance to more intensive programs like helping individuals obtain the necessary training to get the jobs that they want. So so if you need any workforce assistance, I'm the person to call.
Outstanding. Obviously, you've done that one before also. Thank you.
A few times.
Yes. Dan S.
That would be me, the presenter. Is there anybody else?
Oh, yes, I'm talking. Yeah, okay. And did I miss anybody before I go back to our esteemed speaker? Outstanding. Okay, so Dan, welcome.
Yeah, well, first off, I want to thank the Chamber for having me. I'm excited to be here and speak a little bit about healthcare and how we can help businesses through the Chamber and different options that we have. Myself, I'm an account executive with HORAN. I'm on their emerging business advisors team. I specialize in working with companies of 2 to 100 employees. We do have a large business team that specializes in 100 plus. So we split the way we work is we split our teams into 2 different sections to really focus on what's important to specific business sizes. I am a fully licensed health and life agent in the state of Ohio, as well as all other 49 states. And one of the things and why I want to work with the Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, as well as, the small businesses and businesses in the Butler County area, is I'm from there. I grew up in Westchester. I graduated from Beta, and my family lived in the Hamilton, Fairfield, Westchester area for pretty much their entire lives. And with that, I'm also a former small business owner myself. I own 2 businesses downtown Cincinnati, both of which were restaurants. At our height, we were up to 75 employees. I always like to say that I can tell you that if I knew what I know now in benefits, I would have done something completely different. But again, I want to thank everybody for taking their time out of their day and joining on this call, and really excited to kind of go through the importance of benefits, different options available to you, and how we might be able to help you and your business in the future. So kicking off, if my computer will allow me to. There we go. Just a short little agenda. Want to go over the importance of benefits, what a MEWA is, then talk a little bit about the Southern Ohio Chamber Alliance Anthem Plan. That is a MEWA that is available to you through your membership in the Greater Hamilton Chamber. Then we're going to look at options beyond MEWAs, go through ancillary benefits, what to look for in a broker, and then finally quickly just go over HORAN's approach. So why are benefits important? Employee attraction. The job market right now is very slim. Everybody is looking for employees, for good employees. And with that, 92% of employees consider benefits important to overall job satisfaction. And all of these stats are pulled from the latest SHRM study. 63% of employees who are looking for jobs look for benefit options in the job advertisement. Out of those 63%, 90% of those individuals will completely skip a job posting if it does not have benefits advertised. A benefit of having benefits, employees have been shown to accept about 2 to 5% less in pay if given a robust benefits package. So that 2 to 5% can normally make up for any package offered. Obviously, it depends on industry and overall salary, but those are stats that we found really are intriguing to different employers. In regards to employer retention, we all know it's very costly to attract new employees, get them trained up, and get them online and producing. So with that, it roughly costs about $2,000 to $5,000, $5,000 hard dollars to fill a new position. And the soft dollar losses, which include lost output, other individuals' time when training those people, as well as lack of employee morale for covering for the employee lost, and lower output on what they should be doing. When you add all of that up, the hard dollars and soft dollars can be anywhere between $10,000 to $40,000 for the price of replacement for anyone from regular employee to manager. Once you get into director and C-level, that goes up to around, we're talking about $60,000 to $80,000, depending on if you're using firms to look for those employees. So making sure that you're holding on to your employees, especially your good employees, is important. And that's where benefits come in. Quickly, just looking at the time it takes to replace those employees, and this comes into those soft dollars that adding up those soft dollars. In manufacturing, it takes around 70 days. Hospitality, 34. Tech, director, manager levels really varies between 56 and 70 days to replace. And when you talk about C levels, you're getting into 90 to 120 days when looking for those replacements. Again, keeping your benefits packages and up to date and being able to hold on and keep employees is extremely important. And that's what we like to do at HORAN, is help you keep the people that you want and attract the people that you want. So going into what a MEWA is, it's a multiple employer welfare arrangement. So what that is, it gives you the ability to spread the risk to the entire group. It's a consortium of businesses that are able to be grouped together to lower the risk using the law of large numbers. And what that allows the MEWA to do is negotiate through the association for lower rates, and it increases your bargaining power. Now, there are three main MEWAs in the state of Ohio. There's the Southern Ohio Chamber Alliance Plan, which is through Anthem. That is the plan that is offered, that is available to you through the Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce. There are two other MEWAs as well, the Council of Smaller Enterprise, or COSI, which is through Medical Mutual, and the Ohio Chamber of Commerce plan through United Healthcare. So with that, the SACA Anthem plan that is available through the chamber. What that is a self-funded plan that looks and feels like a fully insured plan. And what that means is that gives you consistent monthly payments instead of variable payments or end-of-year payments that you're not really worried about. What that allows you to do is have consistent premiums and allow you to budget accurately for the entire year. With that, sometimes you can get plan options that go 30, 40 plans deep. The Anthem plan really keeps it about as basic as possible for you. With that, they offer 4 PPO plans and 3 high deductible HSA plans. So it gives you enough options to really pick what you need for your employees and your business, but doesn't make it overwhelming. The other great thing with the SACA Anthem plan is you have access to the Anthem network, which is one of the largest provider networks in the state. So when your employees go looking for doctors, they're not typically met with any outside of very specific specialists. They're not met with being denied coverage when you're going to different offices and different doctors. The one thing, and this goes for most health plans, it's not a locked-in plan. While your rates are secured for the 12 months and the entire year, you can choose to leave the plan at any time. So for instance, if your risk profile changes for better or worse, you can typically, if you're for worse, your rates aren't going to change. But for better, you have the option to potentially look at other plans. And that would allow you in a way to potentially lower your premium if your risks lower. So the other thing, going back to the 4 PPO plans and 3 high deductible plan options, is that allows you to kind of mix and match your plan as well. You can offer a PPO plan and a high deductible plan through the SACA plan, which allows you to give your employees an option. An option is great. PPO plans are great for individuals who use the doctor a lot, especially if you have medical conditions, if you're going forward or you're going to be having a kid, or you want more consistency in your copays. That PPO plan will look like a traditional medical plan. High deductible plan, it's typically of a lower cost. So if you have employees that are healthier, who don't really go to the doctor, that can sometimes be a better plan for them. That way, less is coming out of their paycheck. And there's different ways that you can set that up throughout that we would love to go over with you. Real quick, I'm going to stop here and see if anybody has any questions. All right. With that, I'll continue on. So going into the SACA Anthem plan, a thing that goes into SACA is, yes, you are pooling your risk with groups to lower your overall cost. However, with that, groups are still rated on a medical, via medical underwriting, which goes through their medical history, gender, age, and location. Now, so what that means is with the SACA plan, there are 13 different risk factor ratings that you can get. However, even if you are high risk, typically that will be less than an ACA plan or a community rated community rated plan that is at the highest risk. So you still have savings coming your way through the SACA Anthem plan, typically based on other plans, but with your group, with the way your group is set up, there's still going to be a little variability from group to group, business to business, and what you're paying. So the big thing here is, SACA is a great plan. It really is helpful for small businesses. It's a great thing for people who are with the chamber, who are looking to get their employees covered. But every provider is different. Different providers view risk differently. For example, we had a patient or an employee of one of the companies that we worked with, and carrier A viewed breast cancer as an ongoing condition, even though she had all the necessary surgeries and it wasn't a risk. Another carrier said she's cancer free. She had all the surgeries. There's no risk of it coming back, and their medical ratings were very different. So when you're looking at underwriting and looking at all your options, it's not one size fits all. It really depends on what the underwriter is looking at, what the carrier views as a risk, what it doesn't view as a risk. So it's really important to view all of your options. And with that, one of the questions that we always like to ask every business is, when was the last time you did a full market review of your benefits? A lot of times we run into businesses that really haven't taken a look at their benefits fully for 3 to 5 years. And that's a major issue with medical trend continuing to increase year over year. So, say you haven't looked at your benefits for a full 5 years, run into this multiple times in the past couple months. And, you see a 6 to 8% increase. You you sign your renewal, you're like, well, it continues to go up. And you take that hit at 6 to 8% for 5 years. All of a sudden you're paying 30-40% more from healthcare premium than you were 5 years ago. And for any size business, that's not great. You need to look every year at the full market in order to provide the best value for the company and your employees. And, the other thing is carriers can change their view on your company year to year. Your risk profile changes, people come and go. So that is one thing that when you're looking at a program, looking at healthcare, please, ensure that your broker is doing the work for you. A good broker should show you all options available. One of our sayings here at HORAN is use data to make decisions. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have to go out there and change your plan, even if there might be a better option. You may love your plan, but knowing all the options that are available to you allows you to make the best decision for your company. Beyond MIWAs. So, well, like I said, through the chamber program, through your membership in the chamber, you have the availability to join the Southern Ohio Chamber Alliance plan through Anthem. However, that's not a one-size-fit-all plan. It really is based on your company, your revenue, your risk profile, and a lot of other factors that we take into account. Are you growing? How do you want to scale? When do you want to scale? And really sitting down and making a plan for you on what's best for your company. Beyond MIWAs, there are level funded or fully funded plans available. Typically, we look at those from 10 to 99 employees. those plans go directly through the carrier. You don't need a membership in a chamber. You don't have to be a part of an association. There are different things that we can look at for you, and those would look like a standard plan where you'd have set monthly premiums. Other options, especially great for hospitality and retail, are carve-out plans. An example would be, full medical and ancillary benefits for, your manager team plus. That would be, assistant managers, directors, ownership, and then providing, different coverages for minimal essential coverages for hourly employees. You can also have different size plans, PPO, high deductible plans, and carve-outs for different employee classes. The one thing with that is in the employee class, or employees have to be classed in a specific way in order to have that happen. You can't pick and choose what employees get what. If those employees are set in a class, they have to be offered those coverages. But that's a good way, like I said, especially for hospitality, retail, and other hourly type businesses to offer items to your key employees. And you can really class employees out in any way possible, but those classifications have to stay the same year to year, or I should say for the year. At the end, you might be able to change classifications in a little bit, but that's kind of getting into really deep particulars there. A great option for 25 employees plus that's recently come out are partially self-funded consortiums. Similar to MIWAs, you group your risk with other companies. However, there's a little bit stricter guidelines in regards to joining some of these consortiums, such as 100% of your employees have to get their physical. They might have to have certain testing. All consortiums are different, but what this allows you to do is this allows you to essentially have a better control on year-over-year costs. So, for example, the Sakamiwa last year average increase was 14.9%. I would say medical trend overall was somewhere in there, maybe 10 to 12% overall. But with the partially self-funded consortiums, some of those, really wanting to control their cost, you're looking at somewhere between a 2 to 5% average increase year over year. So that really helps companies that are in that 25 plus space. In that 25 plus space, really control their costs and focus on planning deep into the future. With this, we're not talking about a year-to-year plan like some of the other options. We're talking, 5-year, 10-year plans, really looking at building out your success in the long term. Another option, there's all these new healthcare options coming out. I'm sure a lot of you have heard, Mark Cuban is coming out with different options for prescriptions and trying to help people save costs. With technology, there's always going to be new and improving and varying options, which is a good thing. But when it comes to healthcare, a lot of people are a little hesitant about moving away from what we would consider traditional and what their employees know. But one of those non-traditional healthcare options, the Poppins Marathon Health, it's more of a concierge type service where Marathon Health acts as the primary care provider, where you would go for your physicals and any kind of minor medical adaptions, but using a rating system with doctors for specialty doctors, such as surgeries. Poppins actually has a rating system which really looks to limit care after the surgery. So doctors with higher success rates will actually have a lower cost through the Poppins network. They're looking to limit time of rehabilitation, surgeries needed in the future. So it's a really interesting concept, which for some smaller companies that are looking for a little bit non-traditional, maybe something, a company that has a lot of younger employees as well. That's an option that we're seeing a lot of kind of tech marketing agencies leaning towards, because it's a little bit different, but it still gives the traditional sense of self-care through the Marathon Health Network and actually having a doctor that you can go to. Actually, right now, I'll stop again for any questions. All right. So beyond just simple healthcare and the war on talent, basic medical coverage for most companies would not be considered competitive. When looking at attracting talent, a lot of employers offer more than just medical insurance. And options can range from, your traditional dental vision, short-term, long-term health, employer-paid life, to such things as voluntary life insurance, EAP programs, employee assistance programs that have become more and more popular, especially after the pandemic, based on mental health, allowing your employees to get the help that they need through either in-person or telehealth therapy. There's also things through the EAP program of life coaching, as well as legal advice that just give your employees a little bit more support at home. There's multiple programs that are available. That's an area that I'm really passionate about and would love to go over with anybody after this if they want to learn more about that. I would say we're seeing up from about 20% of employers putting that into place when they're looking at benefits to almost around 50 to 55% of employers putting in some sort of EAP mental wellness program into place. And benefits can go all the way down to pet insurance and cybersecurity, really kind of rounding out what you offer to your employees. Now, with all that, that might seem like a lot, and people are saying, I don't want to pay for all of that. Well, you don't have to. The way that employers approach ancillary is it can be employer paid, employee paid, or a split between both. And usually employers will use a combination of all three to provide the most coverage possible to their employees. What that does is buying, quote unquote, buying in bulk through the system for pet insurance, cybersecurity, some of the other items that are typically paid by the employees allows them to have a lower cost. For instance, I have pet insurance here. I pay about $8 a month. Typically, if I were to get that on my own, it'd be anywhere between 15 and 25. The reason why it's a little bit cheaper is, we bundle that with some other products, and that allows HORAN to offer it to their employees at a lower cost. So there are different ways to maneuver and add on ancillary benefits. If you're looking to attract, the best, the most talented employees to your business, we always want to see people look at options, either employee, employer, or split paid to really round out and provide the most robust package that they possibly can. And while not always the case, bundling your ancillary products with the same company can lead to savings. We sometimes, and I'm sure the Saxon people will agree here, that, we get into looking at some providers and, it's piecemeal all throughout. They have, dental with one company, vision with another, life, two different life insurance policies, and it just produces an administrative nightmare, and not always the most effective for cost either. So, when looking, there are some advantages to different, having some different coverages here and there, but typically if you're looking at products, you're wanting to bundle all of your ancillary products, and it makes life a lot easier for all of the HR people as well. They will love you if they only have to pay one bill instead of 7. I can tell you that. So what you need to look for in a broker when looking for health insurance, and this goes across the board, whether you're with us, whether you're with someone else, You want someone who you trust, who can help your company, who is looking to be, your advocate, not just sending something at renewal time and expecting your signature. And, you might hear from them once or twice throughout the year. You want them to be a partner. So you want a partner who helps evaluate the entire market and new market options every year. If they're not doing that, that's a disservice to you and your business. You want a partner who wants to educate your employees on their benefits. A lot of times we see companies that have not seen their broker. Their broker does not come out, does not educate their employees. They hand their employees a packet saying, here are your benefits, and they don't know how to use them. You want someone who, will come out, educate, tell your employees what they have. You're paying for the benefits. You want the employees to take the maximum amount of benefit from those. Also, you need a partner who shows up, like I said, just beyond renewal time. Planning is important. Is your business growing? What are your plans? What are your plans in the future? Are you going to be downsizing? Different size companies have different needs. So plans are not one size fit all based on your size, based on your growth, based on what you're looking to do in the future. And it's important for brokers to know that so they can help you make a plan. And not just, planning 2 months ahead of renewal, planning 6 months ahead of renewal, making sure that, it's not a scramble at the end of the day. And again, lastly, you want a partner who is more than just an insurance broker, but a conduit to the rest of your business needs. You want all brokers, work with a ton of different agencies in terms of CPAs, in terms of law firms. So use myself, use other brokers as kind of a reference to if you guys need anything, if you need legal, if you need payroll, if you need anything else, we can be that conduit for you, and they should be active in helping you meet all your business needs. Real quick, for HORAN Emerging Business Advisors, what we do, we run comprehensive market reviews using UBA benchmarking. We do full market bids every year to help manage year-over-year cost. We like to get in front of our clients at minimum 3 times a year in person. That would be a pre-renewal, post-renewal meetings, plus open enrollment and renewal meetings. The highest service level, there's no call centers. You guys get assigned account managers and client specialists. We're a platinum, gold, whatever. All the carriers use different terms for highest level, but we're the highest level buyer for Anthem, United Healthcare, Medical Mutual, Aetna. So we're experts in the local market. And if you're a business trying to scale, one of the benefits is we do have specialized teams for small and large business, but we do work together on helping companies scale from 25 to 50 to 120 employees. We've seen that happen a lot, and we want to help you grow as much as possible. At the end of the day, we're not just a health company. That is our largest sector, but we do offer benefits for wealth management and life and disability insurance, 401k management, as well as especially in life, executive benefits, key person life, anything that ownership or high-level C-level executives would need. That also includes gap insurance that short-term and long-term would not necessarily meet if you're a high net worth individual. So we can really help at any level of your business on the benefit side, and we'd be more than happy to do so. With that, that's all I have. I left time so that we can get into questions and dig a little deeper for everybody here on the call, and would love to answer those at the moment.
Again, thank you for a great presentation. I don't really have any questions, but I had a couple of comments.
Yeah.
Working in the workforce development area, I speak to a lot of individuals who are having difficulty recruiting on a daily basis. Yeah. And I just want to confirm that you are absolutely correct. People are no longer focused solely on salary. They're evaluating the entire benefits bundle and seek out employers who definitely invest in them. And then on the SACA insurance. In my previous position, I was responsible for shopping for insurance, which I dreaded. Like I think everybody dreads. It's miserable.
Everybody, we're not the most fun people to talk to.
Right. But around 2019, we switched to the Soccer Anthem plan and we saved over $100,000 on a staff of about 10. So it can be really competitive and it's definitely worth investigating.
Yes, no, and I appreciate that. Since the new year, we've seen anywhere between $60,000 to $120,000 in savings for companies. Traditionally, like I said, those are companies that hadn't really looked at their options year over year, so they had a really high premium based on just taking 8 to 12% increases year over year. But no, it is very effective, especially for companies under 50 employees. SOCA is something that you should always look at. Is it going to be the best option all the time? No, but it is an option and it is a great option. And Tracy, to go a little bit more into what you were saying about, employees looking at the full scope of benefits, a lot of the people that I've been working with this year are individuals who haven't had coverage and have been in the past. And, they're older family businesses that, for whatever reason, never made the jump, but have always been able to hold on to employees. Really, in the past 3 years, they have been bleeding. And it has been very interesting and very eye-opening to see employers who, are typically around 25, 30, all of a sudden operating at 50% capacity because people are leaving due to not having benefits or not having robust benefits. And on the back end of that, trying to educate and teach employees about the benefits when they haven't had them. What a lot of employees see is extra money coming out of their paycheck and not necessarily the benefits that are provided via having healthcare, et cetera, for potential future obligations. So it really takes a lot for a broker to come in and educate ownership and the employees on what having benefits means and how to really use them to the full effect.
Barb has a question.
Yes, I just wanted to comment that I met with someone in your office recently and was very impressed with your company. I learned a lot. You've been in business for 75 years. You were voted best places to work several years running. And you guys also do a lot as far as community outreach and give back to the community. And I appreciate your presentation today because I learned a lot more about what you do. And this is great. I feel confident in referring you to people. So thank you, Dan.
All right, I appreciate that. And yes, we celebrated our 75th anniversary last Thursday with a nice party at our new offices down here in Kenwood. It seems like we're the only people who added office space in this time, but it actually makes it nice to come into work. And yeah, like Barb said, one of our big things is we do like to give back to the community overall. Our two really big promotions are United Way and Arts Wave. I would say that we probably cover about 70 to 80% of the nonprofits in Cincinnati, which, are typically smaller, smaller companies, not large budgets. So we try to work with them as best as possible to provide benefits because those people are super important in the community. And, we want them to have every advantage possible because they're giving back to the community as well. So Barb, thank you.
Oops, sorry.
I'll just echo one thing to support your presentation here. We, recently hired somebody and Gino ended up getting that slot, but we had 36 applicants to our opening, and we had 30 that were actually really qualified. So we had really good response. We did advertise benefits. We did not advertise the day-to-day workings of the position. So what I found in the interview process is just a few years ago, especially younger employees, they only cared about what they were going to be making. They only cared about the dollar. And you're right, that has completely switched. And they want to know firsthand what the benefits are. Second, that they're going to have an integral voice in the organization, that they're going to be valued, and they were looking for longevity. So things have really changed from just a few years ago when, you know, they only wanted cash and they only planned to stay 2 to 3 years. So it's amazing how much has changed. Benefits was a major part of almost every conversation.
Yeah, and Dan and I talked about this a couple weeks ago when we sat down and kind of discussed the conversation that we're having here. It is really amazing. You know, all industries across the board, from, you know, nonprofit work to law firms to manufacturing. There seems to be more conversations about benefits going on than there ever has been. Obviously, I think one of the reasons is the past couple of years, a lot of people had, you know, family members in the hospital, medical problems of their own. And it really kind of forced people to look, you know, not to be morbid, but at their own mortality and how they were going to be able to handle situations throughout, you know, the rest of their lives. And you know, while, you know, typically more established people in the workforce cared more about that, I do think, like Dan said, it opened up the younger population to really focusing on, you know, their health, their overall wellness. And that's something I didn't touch on. You know, there's a lot of wellness programs out there based on what carriers you're with that can help you, you know, lower your renewals, lower, you know, really control, or not control, but help you control the health of your overall population. So whatever broker you're working with on those, I would ask about the wellness components that are available to you. You know, they're great for your employees. They can be fun. I know with us, you know, tracking steps, if you get 6,000 steps a month, 8,000 steps a month, you get various gift cards to Amazon. Basically, you know, helping your employees be active and giving them incentives to stay healthy. There's also quizzes, tests that you can run that provide additional, you know, additional benefits. I'm moving into a new house shortly, so I'm racking up all of those Amazon gift cards as much as possible so I can pay for some of the stuff I need. But I would, regardless of who you're with, there's most likely a wellness component with that carrier, if not a low-cost wellness component from an outside participant. They're great. I would definitely look into those, as well as those EAP programs I was talking about. Does anybody have anything else?
You're being awfully quiet today, Dan. I'm sure if anybody has any questions, you're always available to discuss anything anybody comes up with, because this will be on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. So people do go back and watch this later. So if anybody has questions, feel free to just message Dan.
Yeah, call me, email me. I'm always available. I'm up, you know, in the Butler County, Hamilton area about 3 to 4 times a month. More than happy to, you know, drive up whenever. It's not that far. I'm just down in Kenwood. But yeah, more than happy to, you know, grab a coffee, grab lunch, talk shop. Like I said, one of the things that we do is benchmarking. We do that for free. So we can kind of show you where your benefits stand against your competitors, so that you know that when you're looking at employees, that you're offering kind of the standard for your industry, for your area, for your state, which allows you to, you know, keep more employees and attract more employees. So that's something that we're always happy to do.
All right. Any other questions?
All
righty.
Laura, not
Yes.
necessarily a question. I wanted to make a statement.
Mhm.
I'm just so impressed with these coffee and conversations that we're actually giving a lot of really good information to our members. and want to let everybody know I appreciate everybody jumping on the call. And if anybody on the call has some ideas that they'd like to share with us, please feel free to reach out to Laura. We're always looking for good information to share with all of our members. And there's a wealth of knowledge just on this call today. So I want to thank everybody for coming on, and thank you, Laura, for coordinating all of this. And yeah, if anybody has some information they'd like to share, please reach out to Laura.
Yep, definitely just contact me. We've got our next coffee and conversation scheduled for Tuesday, May 11th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So they'll be back on Zoom. Check back to see what topic we're going to have that day. Dan, thank you so much for being with us today and informing us about all the options. This is definitely something that businesses probably don't like to look at that often, but you definitely do. I mean, the savings,
Yeah.
you can, you know, maybe it's upgrading your benefits, cost savings for the company, cost savings for the employees. It's definitely something that does need to be reviewed on a regular basis.
Yes, no, and I thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure, and yeah, I'm always here to help any member of the chamber when they need it.
Awesome. So we will see you all in a few weeks at our next coffee.
Thank you, Dan.
All right. Thank you for being with us. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.